Testing, testing, testing. Whew. Whew. Audio check, audio check. Somebody confirm the audio, please. Can you guys hear me? Thank you for that. Cheers, my Devils fan friends. Today's post-game live brought to you by our friends over at Heineken. And post-game, win or lose, we booze. And today is a win, courtesy of our New Jersey Devils. Well, welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And the New Jersey Devils returned home to the Rock, looking to build on the momentum from their big win in DC the other night. And boy, did the boys deliver, beating a hot Utah Hockey Club by a score of 3-0. Jake Allen with the shutout, a complete team performance. Oh God, it was just a beautiful thing to see on a holiday. And we'll just get into it here. Wow, what a game, and what a time to be a New Jersey Devils fan. I thought of note prior to the game, Rachel was doing a little interview on the ice level before the game, and it was actually with Sal, not Rachel. Cotter said to Sal that he told Sheldon he could put him anywhere in the lineup, lines 1 through 4. So I think that just goes to show another little window into the insight of, the mindset of Paul Cotter. I mean, this guy's an absolute animal. I've been pumping his tires relentlessly for a long time now. I think a lot of people are getting on board. We're going to see those 47 jerseys in the Rock, but he mentioned that he was comfortable, playing anywhere in the lineup, and he's going to try to produce no matter where he goes. I thought that was an interesting thing from him. We find out Jake Allen in the net today, and they're going to go to Markey tomorrow night. Beautiful game. Beautiful game. We get a power play early, no shots. We'll get to the power play in a little bit, but the first one, no shots even. And I was like, here we go again with this power play, struggling to get anything done. That wasn't the case for the rest of the game, but early on it was looking bad. We see Cotter get his first taste of action with Jack Hughes. Your boy Ace was hoping to see it, and we did, not as a full line, but because Jesper Bratt is being utilized on the penalty kill, the first shift immediately after, they threw Cotter out in his place, and Cotter got a little bit of time with Jack Hughes and Timo Meier, which, again, I hope we kind of see that as a standard practice. Again, I would love to see him get that audition, on a more permanent basis, but I'll take any little chances they could throw his way. And obviously Keefe showing, his confidence in Cotter and rewarding him with those shifts after the penalty kill in place of Jesper Bratt. Devils get a late penalty, and I was like, oh, here we go. Utah going to have a nice chunk of their power play on the clean sheet of ice in the second period. But Utah immediately takes a penalty, wipes that one out. Thankfully, a kind of bonehead penalty by Utah negates their power play. We head to the second period tied 0-0. 0-0 after one. And what might be one of the most beautiful single-handed efforts, right? I guess it must have been right as the power play started. It was only going to be an 18-second power play. The Devils are rushing up the ice. Sheamus Casey, with an unbelievable single-handed effort, comes around and just kind of strips a guy, pokes the puck away, gets right into position, and Nico hits him, and he just rips one. I mean, Sheamus Casey, I don't know what they're, what a hustle play to keep the puck in. I thought it was definitely coming out of the zone. He comes in there, flies in, keeps the puck in, gets right into position to shoot, gets fed, and he gets the puck, and he's kind of creeping in, and now everyone's kind of eyes on him. Is he going to try to pass it back across? I think it was Mercer waiting, and he just hesitates as he's gliding towards the net. He froze everybody, goaltender included, at the right minute, just releases that nasty shot. This kid is an absolute sniper. I think he's getting more comfortable in our own end, and I don't see how this kid comes out of the lineup. I mean, my God, if you go back and watch that play, I watched it several times. I mean, the way he just hustled to keep it in, and then immediately gets back into position to receive a pass, grabs it, and just waits, freezes everybody, and just snipes one. His shot is insane. I believe that was his only 4th shot on net and his 3rd goal. I mean, Sheamus Casey is definitely going to have Keith really a tough decision to make, but I think this kid is absolutely phenomenal. I just don't see under any circumstances how you take him out of the lineup. I mean, my God, what an absolute snipe. Love to see it. And yeah, what an individual play by Casey. And then again, Sheamus Casey again on the 2nd goal. What a beautiful play he makes there as well. Bouncing puck coming to the point. He keeps it in. He shows some amazing footwork to kind of shake everybody. And then he just fires it at the net. And Stefan Nason, the junkyard dog, doing what he does down low, getting his nose dirty, getting those gritty grinder goals. Stefan Nason finishes it off, giving Sheamus Casey his 1st NHL assist and 2nd point on the night. I mean, I can't say enough about Stefan Nason. I was pumped when we got him, but this guy has come out like a man on fire. Beautiful goal in the Global Series in Prague. Had a great 3-assist night the other night in Washington with Cotter up on the 3rd line. And then tonight, right down there in front, just giving the goalie hell, getting dirty, and Casey just flips it on net, and he finishes it. What an absolutely amazing play, again, by Casey. An amazing finish by Nason down low. I mean, wow. Take that 2-0 lead into the 3rd period, and Nason gets rewarded. Being the junkyard dog he is, I believe some of you were calling for this. We see that man and his net front presence and his just agitating, heavy style, down low in front on the power play, and getting rewarded with some power play time. And at 10:13, and the guys, I've been waiting a long time to do this.
He's pretty, and he lives in Jersey City. Number 13, Nico
Hischiauza puts Utah in their grave, giving the Devils the 3-0 lead on the power play goal. And that's how it ended, guys. That is how it ended. What a beautiful outing. The defense cutting down on some of those high danger shots. There was some decent chances they had, but Jake Allen there, 20 stops on 20 shots, preserving the shutout. Cheers to Jake Allen. Cheers to Sheamus Casey, Stefan Nason, Nico Hischiauza, the entire NHL, the entire New Jersey Devils club. What an outing. What a performance. And wow, guys, this team is just looking like the team I was hoping they were going to be after he made those offseason acquisitions. Let me do a little reload on the game stats here. Final game stats: shots on goal, Utah Hockey Club with 20, the New Jersey Devils with 33. Devils got beat up in the faceoff circle. Utah with 56.8% to the Devils 43.2%. Penalty kill coming up big once again for the New Jersey Devils. Utah 0 for 4 on the power play, and the Devils finally get the power play going 2 for 7, 28.6%. I would have loved to see another one, but I'll take it. Utah Hockey Club with only 8 hits, and the New Jersey Devils with 28. Love to see that. Heavier, edgier, more violent. Utah with 21 block shots, Devils with 9 block shots. Utah with 16 giveaways, Devils with 10 giveaways. Much down in the giveaway department for the Devils. The other games, we were in the 20s and mid-20s, I believe, in most of the other games. Utah, 6 takeaways, Devils with 3 takeaways, and overall, a beautiful performance from this New Jersey Devils team. Jack Hughes flying around, I thought, looked much better than he had in the previous game, and he got an assist finally. On the Nico goal with that nice pass on the power play. I thought he could have had 4 or 5 assists today. He definitely was creating. He had a couple of bonehead passes on the power play that, led to Utah clearing the zone. But overall, I thought he was flying, and I thought he was creating a lot of chances. And if guys could have finished, he definitely could have had 3 or 4 assists. He had some beautiful setups. But he does get rewarded with the assist on the Nico goal. But overall, a beautiful performance from the net out. Jake Allen stands in there. 20 saves on 20 shots for the shutout. The defense looked pretty damn good. And as did the forwards group. And again, it's another night where, a defenseman with a goal and a huge assist, Nason with a goal. And it's just, this team is just going to be able to beat other teams in so many different ways. And they're not going to have to rely on the top line or the top 6 night in and night out. We have plenty of weapons to beat you. Plenty of weapons, plenty of ways to score. Defensemen getting involved. Johnny Kovacevic just out there being heavier, edgier, more violent most of the game. He's always the first guy into any sort of scrum. You love to see that. And just, wow, what a high. The Devils are 4-1, and it feels so damn good. And let's see what some of you guys have to say here. I'm just scanning here. Traveling Devil 24 is a stud. Absolutely. Stickfigs Calder Casey with a 2.9 in his 5th NHL game. Yeah, I mean, wow. Luke has to be worrying. I don't think so. I think no matter what, Luke's going to be in there, but, that's a whole different story. Allen's mask is so simple and beautiful. Yeah, I really love it. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of the goalie masks. Did a cool video with my buddy who is the proud owner of the New Jersey Devils game-worn goalie mask vault. If you haven't seen that video, check it out on the channel. He has a bunch from throughout the years. Casey is our new Rafalski. I'm not going to crown him that just yet, but I mean, wow, he's showing what he could do. He is showing what he could do, and it's looking like he's going to be a player. Today, they look like the team we all thought they would be. Absolutely. Couldn't be happier. Steven Engel, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. This postgame is sponsored by the Tequila Sunrise I made at 10 a.m. before the game. Nice. John, the boys are in high gear now. It certainly appears that way, and they're only going to get better with time. This is still only 5 games, in the Sheldon Keefe era, and I expect them to get better, as the season goes on. As the season goes on, I fully expect the team to get better. Oh, SST. Shout out to SST, our resident pessimistic fan, that it's going to take a lot to convince him. Trade both brothers. Devils don't need them. That'll never happen. I take back what I said about Casey. He's an unbelievable D-man. Today, this team showed we were a threat for playoffs. Very impressive game by us. I could not agree more. Casey he's special. He's special. He's not getting a ton of time on ice, so I think, Keefe is going to have to get a little more comfortable with him in our own end before he gets more ice time. But what he's shown in the limited ice he is getting, again, he's getting, power play time. His offensive awareness and just his mobility and just the skating on that second goal, it was unbelievable. The bouncing puck comes to the point, he keeps it, and he's just on his edges, just just juking people out of their skates to create some room for himself. Then he eventually just throws it on net, and Stefan Nason takes care of the rest down low. I mean, when you could get contributions like this from your blue line, I just don't see how we take him out. I feel like he probably is the biggest. I mean, it might sound crazy to some. I think he's our biggest offensive threat from the back end with just his playmaking ability and that shot that he has. He's an absolute sniper. Absolute sniper. Iron Man. I was just at the game. It was great. I imagine I thought about going, but I was like, I'll just watch this one at home. Gem Card. Jack had a great game today in SST. We definitely need both Hughes brothers. Yeah, I thought Jack was flying again. Created a lot. There was one power play where I feel like he had a ton of great passes and no one could finish. And a lot, I think today was, especially the power play, they were just firing pucks on net. I mean, it just seemed like they were trying to fire from everywhere and see what they could create. It didn't always work out, but I'm always happy when they're not looking for the super pretty kind of backdoor plays to get a wide open goal. Like sometimes you need, it's nice to get those goals, but I'll take them dirty in any way we could get them. And shout out to the boys for showing up and giving the home fans the first win in the Rock on the season. Just scanning some of this stuff here. SST, I just want to see the Devils' 4th bling, my man. I think we all do. And this, I'm not saying we're going to win, but I'm very high on this team. And I think as we go on, they're going to be more and more dangerous. And it has that feel. It has that special feel. When you have grindy, gritty guys and you have that depth, it's starting to feel more reminiscent. And again, I'm not saying it needs to copy that, but it definitely feels way more reminiscent of the Devils championship dynasty years with a little bit of everything. Scoring, depth scoring, the gritty, grindy guys, solid defensive play. It all really is starting to feel more like those teams. And I think those are the types of teams that in still today's game in 2024 have the ability to go far in the playoffs and win a cup. We still got mollywop by the Leaf. Yeah, man, that was the Global Series curse. We came back and unfortunately we laid an egg, but now in 2 games after, it doesn't look like that same Devils team we saw in the home opener. Just scanning here. We put the L in hockey club. Love to see the shutout. I think we only had one shutout all of last year, and I imagine this year we're going to see way more than that. Obviously, we got our first shutout in only game 5. I imagine Markey's going to get at least – I'd like to see Markey get at least a handful. We'll see. If the defense plays like they did today, I think we're going to see, a good amount of shutouts by this team. Scanning here. Cotter is a great teammate. Cotter seems like he's beloved by everybody. I mean, like I said, in the last live I mentioned, I had a little behind-the-scenes video. If you haven't seen it, check it out on the channel. When they first come out of the locker room, he's one of the first guys out, and he's got little special handshakes with half the guys, and everyone just looks fired up when they see him. He just looks like a really likable guy, and he's just been a great addition to this New Jersey Devils roster. Again, the type of guys that you need to make deep playoff runs. Guys like Cotter, guys like Nason. It's really special to see, and it seems like the recipe is coming together. And I'm very curious to see, if our defensive game takes another step when we see Pesce and Luke back. Markstrom needs to step it up after Jake shut out. Hopefully Markey gets one soon as well. Hopefully he's not left out of the party and we see some Markstrom shutouts on the board really soon. Louis, Casey doesn't fit our timeline, quoting me. And that is true, man. That is true. He was slated, and I think even Sheldon Keefe or maybe Deneen, somebody confirmed, or maybe it was McKinnon, I forget. Someone confirmed that he was supposed to start in Utica. I don't think anyone foresaw the Luke and Pesce injuries, and it is what it is. I'm happy to be wrong, but let's be honest. He didn't just push someone out of the lineup coming out of camp. The spot was wide open with 2 injuries. And so I couldn't be more happier to be wrong. I mean, injuries open the door, and he's taken the opportunity given to him and run with it. So I am wrong, but in the end, it is like a very multiple kind of fluke things for that to happen. But I was definitely wrong. Again, asterisk with the injuries. And some people still think Casey might be the odd man out, believe it or not. I'm not one of them. At this point, he's played so damn good. I say figure it out. I'm not taking him out, but I still think there is a chance that he does get sent down when we're fully healthy. As crazy as it sounds, I think that could happen. We need to keep Casey here even when we're healthy. Yeah, I just, I would like to see it. I don't know that we will see it, but he continues to make a stronger case with every passing game. I mean, he literally single-handedly beat Utah today. We didn't need it. We got a shutout, and he scored the first goal, game winner, and then made the second goal basically happen on his own as well. Obviously, Nason finished it, but complete hustle play and ends up scoring on the first one. Crazy play again to get the assist on the second one. He beat Utah single-handedly today, and, the coaching staff is going to have to really make that decision. His time on ice is still limited. I don't know that they're fully confident in his defensive game in our own end, but so far, I mean, he had a couple little hiccups last game that were kind of like, ouch, in Washington when we were pinned deep and maybe some less than stellar decisions. But overall, I didn't really recall any incidents of that today. And he's just such a smooth skater and just has such a great vision of the ice. The plays that he can make, I'm firmly a believer that the pros far outweigh the cons, and I personally would keep him up, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. We will find out sooner or later, but my God, this kid has come out of the gates on fire. Nobody's going to be Rafalski. He was the best ever. He was very good. I don't know about the best ever, but very good. And I've talked about him before on the program that I do think he is one of the most underrated Devils from that era, because he kind of gets lost with all the Hall of Famers, Stevens and Niedermeyer and Marty and some of the other guys, that he kind of is an afterthought, in my opinion, when a lot of people talk about that timeline. But I appreciate what he did, and I realize how important Rafalski was to those 2 Stanley Cup teams. 2 game winners for 24. Steven Engel. Whoever said it before, no matter what Keefe does when everyone is healthy on D, some fans won't be happy. And that's correct. And again, this is a beautiful, the fact that some fans won't be happy, this is a beautiful scenario to be in. We have so much defensive depth that you could make the argument for almost any lineup. Is Kovacevic going to stay in? Is Casey going to stay in? Is Nemeth going to stay in? Like, we have an abundance of riches on the blue line, and no matter what, our defense should be very, very good. And so there's going to be people in every camp, keep Casey up, send him down. Same thing with Kovacevic and Nemeth. But in the end, this defense should be super solid, and it makes you really feel good about being kind of insulated from injuries as the season goes on and into the playoffs. Some teams are in that position where they're like, if we lose a defenseman or two during a playoff run, we're kind of screwed. I mean, that's not going to be the case for these New Jersey Devils. There's going to be guys waiting in the wings that are ready and willing to step up into the lineup and the boys not skip a beat. It's a beautiful, beautiful situation to be in. And so, Steven, you are correct. There are going to be people that are unhappy no matter how it shakes out. But I, for one, will be happy just because I know that our defense as a whole, no matter what Keefe decides to do, is going to be stellar. Select the boy. What's up, Ace? A hard-fought game by the boys. Absolutely. Love to see it. The first shutout of the season, the first shutout for Jake Allen as a New Jersey Devil. Everything just firing, everything looking good. It was a beautiful outing. Beautiful outing to see. Dirty goal that was. Yeah, you need those too. Not everything's going to be a highlight reel beauty. Stefan Nason, an absolute junkyard dog. What an acquisition. What an acquisition in SST. I do remember in the fall, you did say you wanted Nason on the Devils. So, yes, you got one guy that you wanted. And he is a much needed kind of element to the roster that we lacked. Furthermore, Keefe rewarding him with power play time. I like him on the power play. I'm sure Timo is not a fan of coming off of that unit, but I mean, Nason looked great down there. I really think they should give him some more time in that spot because he really is just a disruptor, the big body, heavy stick, makes things happen down low. You love to see it, and Nason just showing his worth in just the first handful of games in the season. It's really been an unbelievable thing to watch. These new guys just paying off. The emergence of Sheamus Casey. So many plot lines on this young season. So many things to look forward to. So many things to be thankful for. Rafalski had such a tippable shot, and teams thought they could cut to the middle on him because of his size, only to get trucked by Stevens. Yeah. Rafalski. For the younger or newer fans, do some due diligence on Brian Rafalski, number 28, an absolute stud for the New Jersey Devils that often kind of gets like I said, overlooked in the star-studded Hall of Fame rosters of those Devils teams. But he was just as important as anybody else. Power play whiz, beautiful shot. Ace, my boy, let's go Devils. People nitpicking these wins. 60 minutes of hockey and defense. I get it. We want all lines rolling, but W's are W's. I have no complaints after today. I mean, wow. What an absolute beautiful game. I wish I went, but, I got other things going on. I'll make it back to the Rocks soon enough. But I do enjoy watching at home and kind of taking in some different elements that I do miss out on while at the game. But it was a beautiful, thorough effort from the boys today. What a game. Needed to be the physical team in this one. Utah reminds me a lot of the Devils from a few years back. Their transition game is good, but lack physicality. Heavier, edgier, more violent. Let's go, Doug. You tell them. And the one thing that jumped off the stats page to me was, Utah had 8 hits. Like, listen, Utah Hockey Club, 8 hits. This is a physical game. This is a physical game, and 8 hits is discouraging. And we saw the Devils with single-digit hits in a lot of games last year where I would read the stats, and I was just like, oh, boy, not going to get it done. But, a lot of speed, a lot of skill over there. But, again, they're not the heavier, edgier, more violent group, and we grinded one out today. Beautiful, beautiful win. Casey probably getting his Calder, and Utah gets their first L in their history. I mean, listen, I don't want to get too ahead of anything, right? But, if this kid sticks in the lineup and continues to play anywhere near the level that he is right now, he will be a Calder nominee for sure. I mean, how could he not be? He's just been that good for the Devils, and that's with limited ice time, mind you. There's going to be other rookies that get, because of the situation and where they play, that are going to get way more time. But this kid already has 4 points in 5 games. I mean, he's on like a 64-ish point pace. Obviously, if he sticks around, I don't expect him to keep up this madness. But if he does stay in the lineup all year long, I firmly believe he will easily hit 40 points, and he will be a Calder nominee for sure. Selected boy, who would have thought they would convert on the power play twice? Well, we did have 7 power play chances, but that's still, almost 29%. Love to see it. The power play showed a little more life, even on some of the ones we did not score on. They were buzzing with sustained pressure, some decent shots. And that's obviously something we've all been hoping to see kind of turn around. The power play has kind of looked like duty in most of the games, really. And 2 for 7 today, I'll take it. I'll definitely take it, and hopefully it continues to improve as we go on here, because you need a power play that could perform, again, if you want to be a very good regular season hockey team, and more importantly, if you want to be a very good, deep playoff, war-tested team. Devils have a really bad, good problem. Is there enough playing time for Luke, Casey, Nemitz? Yeah, this is the multi-million-dollar question about the defense. What will be our final pairings, for the majority of the season? And again, it's there's so many question marks. I don't really know. There is no easy answer, and it's going to be up to General Keefe. What is he going to do? I thought Nemitz looked a lot better today, especially offensively. He just, anytime he had a chance to kind of throw a puck on net, he had a few decent shots either on net or towards net that had the potential for a rebound or for someone to tip it. So I liked where his head was at there. It seemed like overall the whole team today was just kind of in the mode of throw it on net and make things happen. And Nemitz was definitely one of those guys. He threw a couple pucks into spots where I thought, something could have been created out of it. This is the first time I've seen us play a solid defensive game for all 60 minutes in a long, long time. The boys are back in town. The boys are definitely back in town. First shutout of the year. Jake Allen looking good in there. And now we turn to Markey for tomorrow. And hopefully Markey could kind of settle in. And hopefully the boys play as well in front of him as they did in Jake Allen tonight. Because, it wasn't the easiest shutout maybe Jake Allen ever had. But it was probably up there, in terms of dangerous saves he had to make. There was a few of them, but nothing too crazy. And overall, the Devils did their thing. There was a couple times where I thought, again, instead of making the easy play and launching the puck out of the zone, they did a couple, like a little soft one up the wall, and then Utah kept it in, if I'm being super nitpicky. But overall, much tighter play in our own end, and you love to see it. Kovacevic, I thought, played a very good game. There was multiple times where he was like, I'm not trying to be cute with this. He's like, I'm just getting this out of here, and just fired it up. Sometimes you got to do that. Oh, my God, the Devils are going to win the Super Bowl. What is our PK percentage? We've only given up one on the season, and maybe, let's see if I can pull that up real quick. It's got to be like 90-something, I'd imagine. It's going to be over 90%. It was 90.9% heading into this game. The stats didn't update yet. So yeah, we're going to, we're over and above 90%. Magi, what's up, sir? Your boy's a full belly from the restaurant legend, a full body of hype from such a win. Let's go Devils. You're going to have a fun season on YouTube, Ace. Well, cheers to you, Amagi. He sniped a nice deal for the restaurant ledge seats, was just enjoying the game in full class. Just probably eating some carving station, maybe a myriad of pastas, some sauteed vegetables, maybe some sushi on that beautiful restaurant ledge. I haven't been up there in years. I got to make it back up there at some point. But I have a full body of hype too. I'm now like super hyped after every game and can't wait for the next game. I'm glad we play tomorrow. Looking forward to it, and hopefully we followed up with another win. I mean, wow. Beautiful season, beautiful start to the season. Devils haven't relied on the top 6 so far. Yeah, imagine when they actually get to their game and they get humming along. It's crazy to think that we're here now with depth and bottom 6 guys and defensemen basically winning these games for us. It's unbelievable. Great game. Now we need the Mets and Jets to win. I'm not a baseball guy. Football, I'm a Giants fan. If I had to pick a team to root for baseball, I would pick the Mets, but baseball is just such a snooze fest. I don't know if anyone notices, but man, Dougie and Brad are looking way more mean out there. Apparently they were saying Dylan is inspiring that. And I said this in the offseason. When you have these nasty guys in your lineup, it is contagious. I knew kids, a weird analogy, but I knew kids when I was younger, like even in middle school or high school, that were like very soft, timid kids. And then they became friends with some more roughhousing type kids. And all of a sudden, over time, you saw them kind of not become as, rough or whatever as those kids, but they definitely weren't the little meager kids that you knew before they became friends with that crowd. I think the same thing could happen on a hockey team. And I think Keefe is preaching to everyone, hit people. Dougie definitely has been more physical. I'd like to see him really truck people. It seems like sometimes he's just, following through with a half-ass check for the sake of doing it. And Bratt, the same thing. Bratter's getting in there and laying the body too. The Devils will probably destroy the Canes since the Canes are in dead last. I could never say that. Carolina is a battle-tested team. Been there before. I would never write Carolina off no matter what. So the fact that they're in dead last, honestly, means nothing to me. Hopefully the Devils find a way to beat them. But they've been, a very good team for a very long time. And so for me, you could never write them off. The kid could snipe ace. I'm assuming you're talking about Sheamus Casey. His shot is just lethal, and he finds space to get it off. And it's just his release is just so beautiful and fast, and he's just picking spots in the net. Absolute sniper. I don't know when you have a kid like him, how you take him out of the lineup, personally. I'm on record saying my personal preference would be to keep him in the lineup and figure out everybody else. But I'm not going to be stunned if he does come out. I just think that he's just been so damn good that you can't take him out. Nobody here remembers Devils held Leafs. Oh, I remember it. I was there. I was up in the upper deck of Continental Airlines Arena. Devils held Leafs to just 6 or 7 shots in the 2001 playoffs. Game 7, if I was correct, I want the Devils to play like that. Is that too much to ask? I believe that might be an NHL record or tied for it, SST. I was at that game, and it was beautiful. It was an absolutely beautiful game. I was up in the rafters at the old arena and watched our boys bounce that Maple Leafs team, and it was phenomenal. I don't know that you'll ever see that in the modern NHL. I think it's very unlikely, I think, because of just, how the game is now. But I do remember that, and it was like the easiest game Marty probably ever had. Beautiful, beautiful series win that unfortunately did not result in a cup as the end, result. It ended up in a devastating Game 7 loss that I'm still not over at the hands of Patrick Waugh and Ray Bourque and Joe Sakic in the 2001 Stanley Cup Finals. Let's not forget to remind Ace about how silly he is for telling us to dump Casey. I never said dump Casey. At the time, without the injuries, he was our most valuable trade chip. And so if that's what you're referring to, yes, in some of these crazy deals, I was postulating that he could be included. I'm glad he wasn't. Oh, yeah. But, now we're here, and now I'm advocating for him to stay in the lineup. I mean, it is what it is. He's been everything as advertised and more. And so I hope he sticks around. I do think there is a good chance that he does not. But what a start to a career. I think he's going to be devastated if he comes out of the lineup, to be honest. I think they should keep him, really. It's just, he's such a threat, such a playmaker from the back end. Hit like. Thank you, Jerome. Hit the like. Hit the thumbs up. It takes half a second and $0.00. Jersey Roots, how you doing, Paisan, and all the other Devils barbarians? Everyone's in a great mood. The winning hockey, shutout hockey will do that for a fan base, and the Devils fans are no different. A beautiful day to be a Devils fan. We're going to destroy the Canes, and Canes won't make it to the playoffs. Let's destroy the Canes until they lose and sweep them. How about a round of applause for Jake Allen pitching a shutout as a Devil? Absolutely. Great game, great outing for Allen, who now improves to 2-0 on this young season. Guys, we made NHL history. While the rest of the nation was at work, we have handed Utah their first ever shutout and first ever L. That is true. That's a whole weird thing, too, that, they're technically, they took over all the existing contracts of players and executives, but it's still a new franchise. I think that's very weird. That whole situation with their team relocating and everything in the fashion that they did is very weird, but it is what it is. They're in Utah now, and they're a new franchise. I mean, kind of bizarre. Devils 4-1 and have gotten nothing from Jack Hughes. The Devils power play, PK from a season ago, pressuring the point for forcing turnovers. Yeah, the PK has been really good. And Johnny Kovacevic has been a big part of that. And he's another guy where it's another hard decision for Sheldon Keefe to make. How do you take Kovacevic out of the lineup? I mean, I never would have thought in the summer heading into the season that we'd be in a spot where I would say I could make the case for taking Nemitz out. Like, that never even crossed my mind. But here we are now. I believe with the type of player that he is, and everything else considered, I would take Nemitz out of the lineup before I took Kovacevic out. And I mean, who thought we would have been here? But here we are. I mean, wow. Kovacevic has just really emerged as a really integral part of this defense. They were showing the advanced stats. I meant to jot them down, but him and Siegenthaler as a pair, the analytics on them, other than the eye test showing that they've been playing well, the analytics on them are very good. And because we are such a heavy analytics-driven team, I could see that being like kind of the tipping factor that works in Kovacevic's favor for him to stay in the lineup, possibly over Nemitz. I really do. Started my shift at 1:15 and worked 14 plus hours, but got to the end of the day watching a Devils win. Damn, Jerome, you're going to need a nap or to go to bed. That's a long day. Glad the Devils were able to reward you with this performance. They seem to be getting better and better at shooting the puck and not holding on to it for so goddamn long. Yeah, fire pucks on net and good things happen. Love to see it. Just fling it on net and let everybody go to work. And you saw that with Casey, just fired a nice one down low. Rebound comes out, and Nason down there just getting dirty. What a dog. Nason is such a dog. I can't wait to go on a playoff run with that guy and Cotter and the rest of these guys. But Nason is just, he's going to be a treat in the playoffs. Got to shout out Halla. He's dishing and winning faceoffs. Also, our PK is tight AF. Going to be netting Shorty soon. Oof. I love a good Shorty. Love a good Shorty. Yeah, Halla with coming off a big game the last game as well. 3 assists, getting it done in the circle. Love to see it. Oh, here we go. Siegs, Mercer, and Nemitz for Brady. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'll be honest, right? If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm just trying to think. Nemitz, Mercer. Yeah, we would have to make some sort of other move. Not a huge one, but some sort of other move to make him fit under the cap. But, and again, I don't know that Ottawa would ever do that deal. But if that deal was on the table, I am doing that deal. I am definitely doing that deal. Big difference from last year is the boys just seem like they flat out want it more than the other team. Sure, bonehead plays here and there, but man, you love to see it. Yeah, this is all part of the heavier, edgier, violent mentality, intensity. Don't just go through the motions, actually go out there and want it. And I think the desire and the will to win of this team, as you pointed out, Alex, is much higher. And I think a lot of that is infectious from guys like Cotter and Nason and the Brendan Dillons of the world on and off the ice. These are intense dudes. They want to win. They play heavier, edgier, more violent, and it just kind of spreads throughout the team, and it becomes the team mindset and the team philosophy. You absolutely love to see it, and I couldn't agree more. Today was a work-from-home day, and I couldn't be happier. Ready to see how they play tomorrow against NC. Yeah. Going into Raleigh, looking for a big performance against the Canes, and again, on the second half of a back-to-back. Big issue for last season. It did not prove to be an issue in Prague. Let's see now in another second game of a back-to-back if these New Jersey Devils can, in fact, win again. I'd like to apologize to Nico for not putting enough respect on his name. I did not realize he now has 3 points in some of his defensive moves can easily go under the radar. Yeah, Nico's that kind of guy. He's going to show up on the score sheet regularly. Not always going to be the flashiest player, but he's doing a lot of things, that don't show up on the score sheet that aren't so, oh my God, look what he did. Play away from the puck, being defensively responsible. And that's why I think he's kind of an underrated player in the league, because he doesn't necessarily always have those highlight real flashy type plays, but he's just a consistent, solid two-way player. And I think on behalf of Nico Hischier, we will accept your apology. Back-to-back game tomorrow. Hope they don't disappear and bring it like today. Yeah, absolutely. We are way too good. We have way too many weapons. No team can stand with us. We are so winning the Stanley Cup this year. I don't doubt it. Well, I like the enthusiasm, Ryan, but this is the NHL. There are plenty of other good teams. We will have some bad nights, but as I said in the summer, why not us? Why can this team not win the Stanley Cup? I do believe if we sustain this level of play and, again, remain remotely healthy, that this team can go on a deep run and potentially win a cup. And I would be elated. I don't even know. Forget stuff on this channel. I don't even know what I would do in life if we won the cup. Never mind what I would do on the channel. But wow, a Stanley Cup, attending a Stanley Cup Finals game featuring the New Jersey Devils. This would be the 2025 Cup Finals. So it'd be 13 years since our last appearance or even remotely close to it. And wow, nothing would make me happier. Nothing would make me happier. The boys fight every shift now. Would never see that last season. I mean, freaking Jesper Bratt is laying hits on the regular. His game evolves every year. Jesper Bratt looks so good. Jesper Bratt, another guy that I believe is grossly underrated league-wide. I mean, as Devils fans, we know what we have in him, and we really appreciate him. But, Jesper Bratt, you can't say enough. He's been our most consistent and best forward overall, in my opinion, for the last several years. And, he's just kind of hitting his prime here. He will hopefully be another integral piece of a Devils team that will go deep into the playoffs and ultimately hoist a Stanley Cup as a New Jersey Devil. Our depth is unreal. Absolutely it is. It's beautiful to see. And the coaching staff is going to have some really hard decisions regarding that defense in the very near future. Although at this point, I don't even know what to make of the Brett Pesce case anymore. I mean, he was day to day. First of all, we didn't know anything about the surgery. I mean, when I say we, I mean the fans, because someone tried to fight me about this in the comments last time. Obviously, the team knew when they signed him, but no one knew until training camp. But everyone's like, what the hell's going on with Pesce? And it's like, oh, by the way, he had an off-season surgery and he's recovering. And he was like day to day. And then it was like, oh, he's not making the trip to Prague. And then I think the most recent thing was week to week. I mean, I don't know, when is he even coming back at this point? Your guess is as good as mine. But when he does come back, someone's got to come out. And it's going to be very interesting to see who that is. What's up, Ted? Cup this year. I would love to see it. I hope so. Nothing would make my soul smile more. This is what's beautiful about this team. So much depth in every department that everyone needs to step up their game to stay competitive. Yeah, there's guys gunning. Again, not only are we insulated from injuries, in case of an injury, there's guys waiting in the wings. But if you don't play your best and bring your A game every night and Sheldon Keefe doesn't like your effort, you're going to the press box, baby. There's someone hungry looking to take that spot. So it's keeping guys honest. It's keeping guys on edge. And it's, keeping everybody playing at their best. Because if you don't, you are going to be pulled out of the lineup and someone will take your spot. Iron sharpens iron, guys. Casey plays with rabies. Big fan. I absolutely love the kid. He's like I said, as advertised and more, showing patience, showing great vision, great everything. Hustle plays to keep the puck in. I can't talk about him good enough. I don't know, again, will he be here or not? But my God, I mean, how do you look that kid? How do you have a meeting as a coach or an executive? How do you look that kid in the face and be like, at any point this season now, and be like, I'm sorry, Sheamus, it's time for you to go to Utica and ride buses around. Like, how do you even have that conversation? 24 was the best player in preseason. He wanted the spot on the team the most. Yeah, and with the injuries, he just took it. He absolutely took it. Surprising he has jumped Nemitz. Could be Nemitz being injured still. I don't know. Again, Nemitz could be a guy that's a bubble boy right now. We really don't know where the coaching staff's head's at. But I just don't see how you take Kovacevic out of this lineup, especially because he's a big body, nasty guy. He is the definition of heavier, edgier, more violent. And I love that guy. I love Kovacevic. I mean, wow. What an acquisition. Fitz absolutely stole him. He was stolen, and he's coming here and fit in flawlessly. And again, he's another high-energy, intense dude that looks like all the boys love him too. Yeah, it really is crazy how I truly believe on and off the ice, the DNA of this team was dramatically changed for the better by Fitzy with the acquisitions of Markstrom, Dillon, Pesce, Kovacevic, Cotter, Nason. This is, all the key pieces are still there, but now you inject this other kind of element in there. And I think the locker room and on the ice, you're seeing it. And I just couldn't be happier. It has that feeling of the old school teams. It really does. I'm just yanking your chain about Casey. I want to milk being right a little longer. He could totally take a step back at any point. I want to relish in it a little longer. Well, enjoy it, Louis. I hope that there is no regression on this front. I hope that he just continues to get better and better and forces the coaching staff and Fitz to leave him up with the big club. Old man Rob back again. Y'all miss me. Worried about Casey and 4 games left before burning his first contract year. Either way, he looks great. This was a great game. Let's go. So, Rob, actually, because Sheamus Casey was 20 years old when he signed his contract, and this is to another point why I believe even more so that he has a better chance of staying in the lineup, is because he signed his contract when he was 20. His contract is not what they call slide eligible, and so this is the first year off of his entry-level deal, regardless of where he plays. There is no saving it for another year if they send him down. So this is the first year of his entry-level contract, regardless of where he plays. There is nothing to quote-unquote save by sending him to Utica, which is a point I believe in the favor of keeping him here, because you're not saving anything. This is year one of his deal, regardless of where he plays. And so I think that's just another point as to why it really makes sense to keep him here. Because how are you going to send him down? And again, if his contract could be pushed off another year, then I could see it. You're like, you played great, but, for cap and all these things, and we have these other guys, but you're not saving that. Year one is burned regardless. And so he's here now. Year one's getting burned regardless. Let's just keep him up with the big club. Should Nason and Cotter stay on the same line? I could go both ways on this. I do think Cotter's potential is much more than a third liner. However, that third line just looks so beastly. I could see Keefe wanting to keep it intact. With that being said, I do love what Keefe did today. And what he did was Cotter played in Jesper Bratt's spot on the wing after the penalty kill, the first shift after the penalty kill, because Bratter is getting PK time. As soon as they come off the ice, the first shift after, obviously Bratt's going to get a rest. They throw Cotter out there in his spot. So he is getting, little windows, half a shift to a longer shift, depending on how the timing works out on the change, of playing with Jack. And that's kind of a little audition as well. I think for the most part, they probably will keep the third line intact, but I could see him, getting bumped up too. I just think what he brings is so, is so special that you can't leave him fully on the third line. But I'll take the sneak peek with Jack following a PK. I mean, that's something in the right direction. Give me 1 second here. Scan. Collect Records. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Much appreciated. Thank you. Still in damn meetings at work, but just saw we won. Hope some of you are day drinking to celebrate. So stoked to be a fan along all of you right now. Let's go Devils. Good times. Positive vibrations. Cheers, Collect Records. Thank you very much, sir. Very much appreciated. Yeah. I highly recommend rewatching the game in its entirety if you can, or watch the highlights. It was a beautiful one. Always day drinking for the boys. So cheers to everybody. And it is a great time. Good times and positive vibrations is right. It was quite an outing for the boys. A complete effort. Looked good in all facets of the game. Penalty kill, perfect. The power play clicking at an acceptable rate. Showed some good chances aside from the goals that they did get. Looked much more improved from last game. And so lots to be excited about. And we're still only, in game now 5 of the Sheldon Keefe era. And these guys are just going to get better and better as time goes on, as the cohesive unit continues on. I'm just scanning here. Talk about depth. There's plenty of guys in Utica ready to step in, both O and D. Yeah, there is. I think our defensive depth at the moment is probably a little bit better than the offensive depth, but I do think Foote is capable of filling in for somebody. Hallinan obviously is looking to, crack the lineup. And so there are definitely plenty of guys that could fill in that bottom 6. Would have loved to see Kevin LeBanc. It's a damn shame that the way that all played out. He was an absolute legend in the preseason. Loved Bruce Driver. Old school Devil. Long suffering with some of those bad teams before the boys finally got it done in 1995. What a team that was too, man. Wow. Oh, here's some negativity a little bit. There's no book on Casey yet. He'll get exposed. I mean, listen, as everyone progresses in their career and there's more and more tape available, and teams with all these deep dive departments that, study teams' tendencies and look for ways to develop, the talent, I think I don't think he'll ever get exposed. I think he's just too good of a hockey player. Will some things that he does maybe be a little bit harder to get away with? Yeah, but in the end, when you could skate the way he does, when he has the vision that he does, and the playmaking ability, and that absolute, let's just not undersell. He is a sniper. He is just picking spot, bing, and just ripping off beautiful shots. He's freezing guys with little hesitations to freeze defenders. He's doing toe drags. He has it all. And I don't think he'll ever be like exposed. I think he's just going to be a dynamic player, and my heart would break for him if he gets sent down to Utica, because he just, he's looked phenomenal. The Devils did to Utah what teams did to us last year: took away speed and open ice. Yeah, that was the book on last year's Devils. They're a transition team, speedy and fast, clog the middle of the ice and beat on them, and they'll wilt away and die. And that was the case a lot of times with the Devils last year. Once our transition game and that speed and space got taken away, it was hard for the Devils to produce any of those, those gritty, grindy goals. This year we have the personnel and a coach with a system in place to where, okay, no problem. We could play dump and chase. We could cycle down low. We could get dirty goals. And you have to be able to score in a variety of fashions if you want to win in this league. You can't just kind of be a one-trick pony. And it seems like Utah, a lot of people did say that it does seem like a little bit similar to last year's Devils team, for sure. Yeah, that's how do you expose a nasty shot in good positioning? Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to be, a case where like, oh, now, teams figured him out and now he's ineffective. I just think when you're that smart of a player with the skating that he has and the puck handling and the shot, he's always going to be a friggin' gamer. His shot is nasty. I mean, nasty is an understatement. My God, I can't pump his tires enough. The kid's showed up here and he's been completely unbelievable. You can't sing his praises enough. Jack looked good today. Don't recall him laying on the ice at all or giving any turnovers up. He had a couple bad passes. One kind of broke up momentum on a power play. But again, when someone's handling the puck for that often or that much time during a game, there's going to be a couple bad plays. But overall, I thought he played a much better game. He was flying. He had the power play buzzing a couple times where they didn't score, and he created a lot of chances where I thought he could have had 3 or 4 assists. Guys weren't finishing, and it is what it is. He'll get his chances. I know they won't do it, but Devils should move Casey to right wing. A lot of people have been saying this. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of changing a guy's position, from defense to forward. I just think at the NHL level, that'd be just such an adjustment. I just think he's best served. And again, he's very well served on the blue line. Like you saw his ability to keep the puck in, his ability to kind of see what's going on, assess a play, throw pucks at the net. I just feel like, and a quarterback on power play too. I just think his value is on the blue line. I do think he'd be a decent winger, with some time, but I feel like he's most valuable as a defenseman. The schedule is crazy. We're at 5 games, our others are at 1. Yeah, this is a crazy October. Coming back from Prague, we have a jam-packed October, lots of games, and they're coming quick. And Allen's gonna have to play well as often as well, because he's gonna get a lot of starts. What's up, Matt? Do you think they buy out Plot after the season? I mean, probably. I imagine maybe they try to package him in a trade, but if that doesn't pan out, I think he definitely is a prime buyout candidate. And I think the penalty on that would be $1.5 million over 4 years. So you're talking about a net gain of $4.5 million in cap space. I mean, that could be very valuable in improving the team. And so he could be a cap casualty. It's a shame they can't renegotiate contracts like in football. Like football contracts are worthless. Like it means nothing. You could rip it up and sign a bigger one. You could rip it up and be forced to take a pay cut. Like at this point, I think Palat's made enough money where if you're like, yeah, we're only paying you league minimum, he would probably take it. Obviously, this is not an option, but that would be pretty cool if it was. I thought Jack looked better today. Beautiful apple. Yep. Great pass to Nico, and he buried it. Luke Casey looks legit. Couldn't look more legit. He looks like a Calder candidate, as someone mentioned sooner. I mean, if he stays in the lineup all year, I think he easily hits 40 points, and I believe he is a Calder nominee. with Celebrini hurt, it really might give somebody else a chance to kind of take it. I think Celebrini, usually the number one overall guy, is like the default guy they're trying to give it to. That was the case with Bedard last year, and yeah, he had a good season, even though he missed some time. But with Celebrini missing time, depending on how long he's out, that really could potentially, get the trophy over to somebody else. To see Sheamus Casey win it would be phenomenal, but first he has to stick in the lineup all year. That's true. Tomorrow's our first non-global back-to-back game. Very telling. Hopefully they can get it done without the Prague woman backing them up. Yeah, for sure. Who comes in for Luke and Pesci? I guess you mean who comes out for Luke and Pesci. I'd imagine at the moment, it's tough. It's tough. At the moment, I still think they're going to take Casey out. I would say Luke takes Casey's spot and Pesci takes Nemets's. I don't think they take Kovacevic out because he does bring that big body, heavier, edgier, more violent. If I had to pick, I think that's what they would do. If it was up to me, I would take out Siegenthaler in favor of Casey, but I don't think they're going to do that either. And once I saw the deep analytics numbers are very favorable on Kovacevic and Siegenthaler as a pairing, I think that's going to be a pretty big hurdle for them to look past. My heart sank when I saw Dougie go down. I thought he'd be fine. He kind of got the cross-check special up in the grill. And I was hoping he was going to bleed because I think if he produced blood, we would have got the double minor, a little 4-minute special there on the power play. But no blood. He was fine. We are the New Jersey Hurricanes. I don't know about that, but I'll take a couple other guys in Pesci and Nason. Hopefully some of those winning ways and that winning culture just rubs off on everybody else. And so far, it definitely seems like it has. Canes still have Rod, the Bod, Brindamore. Yes, they do. They definitely do. And he's had them performing well for years. 2001 was supposed to be our back-to-back cups. That still stings. Yeah, it really hurts. I was at Game 6 of the 2001 finals. Devils up 3-2 in Continental Airlines. The cup in the building, waiting under the tunnel to be brought out of the box, and the cup guys bring it out with their gloves. It was not meant to be. Devils get creamed in that game. Got shut out, and the game-winning goal was the first goal for the Avs, which was by Adam Foote, an absolute bomb of a shot. Adam Foote, a great defenseman for the Avs, and father of Nolan Foote. Devils blow Game 6 at home and then go to Colorado for Game 7 and ultimately lose the series, lose the cup, and ruin our chances to be back-to-back cup champions like we did to the Dallas Stars the year before. Dallas Stars were 99 cup champs looking to repeat in 2000. We spoiled it for them. And then in 2001, the Avs spoiled it for us. But having the 3-2 lead at home and then ultimately blowing the series will probably forever be the most painful Devils loss for me in my fandom. At this rate, sit some fourth liners, have some D fill in. Kidding. I remember that Toronto playoff game. We were savages back then. Imagine how demoralizing that is to a team. Yeah. 6 or 7 shots. I mean, they had some decent forwards too. Matt Sundin, did some other guys as well. Those were some good Leafs teams that, probably could have made a finals or two during their heyday if the Devils weren't in their way. But they were. Marty owns them. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do when the trade deadline comes around if they add to the top 6. I think if it costs our depth, it's not worth it for this year at least. The trade deadline will be interesting. I mean, if we continue on at anywhere near this level of play, we look this good, we're winning, if we're looking like a team that Fitz truly believes can be a contender and there's a piece out there that could push us over the top, I think he will do it, but he's not going to completely mortgage the future to do so. But it will be interesting to see, who's available and what pieces he's looking at. I'd imagine it would have to be, it would probably have to be a top 6 guy. I don't think we're pretty well set on defense, in my opinion. And with the depth we have, and the bottom 6 fairly set, I would say, as well. And so you really look and you're like, okay, where's the area where the Devils could maybe pick up a guy that could push them over the edge? And I'd have to believe it's at least a middle 6 guy, maybe. And so I don't know who that's going to be. I'd have to look at who's maybe is coming up will be a free agent this summer. And so a lot of teams, if they're out of the playoffs, will, in fact, cash those pieces in for guys that are going to be unrestricted free agents, cash them in for whatever they could get, future assets or maybe other players or prospects. But, maybe there's another guy out there who they feel could, help us on a deep playoff run. Speaking of Brady, that Lawson Krause kid on Utah is a poor man's version. Would love to see him in black and red. He's mean and would fit right in. There were some rumblings of us being in on him. I mean, that could be interesting, but there's nothing like Brady. And I'll still hold out a slimmer of hope. I mean, if somehow Ottawa tanks, Brady has a no move clause kicking in on July 1. Again, it's probably pipe dreams, but if they're out of it, that chatter is going to get loud league wide. It really will. It really will. Jack may not have scored, but he is contributing. I agree there. He definitely is contributing. He was buzzing today. He got that nice assist, and he could have had a bunch more. He definitely was generating a lot of chances. What a gut punch. When Ra coughed up that goal in the empty net, I thought the cup was ours. Yeah, that one always hurts, man. That one always hurts, and it's painful. I guess we just hope Luke and Pesci come in and bring the same or even more than what we already have going. Then we will be completely spoiled on defensive depth. Yeah. We're just deep. We are super deep on defense, and it's a great luxury to have. Keefe has some tough decisions, and I would love to be a fly on the wall in those meetings. The meetings probably consist of a ton of people. I'd imagine it's going to be the entire coaching staff, Fitzy, probably some analytics people, and I think people are going to be making cases for their guys, whether it's someone looking to keep Siegenthaler or Nemitz in the lineup versus another guy. I mean, everyone probably has their own agendas in that department, but it'll be interesting to see. John Madden was the shorthanded king for sure. Steven, they said they'd be more motivated this year. They're definitely showing it. Yeah, they look hungry, and they look like a team that really wants to win. And so far, it's been translating in the standings. 4-1. I will take it. Take a drink every time Ace says heavier, edgier, more Vaughn. I kid, you might die. Not if you're drinking beer. And fun will be had by all. Oh, the Mets hit a grand slam. 100% fatality rate if you drink to. Oh, you guys are now. I'm getting roasted by multiple people on this. 100% fatality rate if you drink to historical 22-23 season. Oh, we got some kidders in here. It's October, so we can't count our eggs before they're hatched. Absolutely. I'm not getting ahead of myself, but just the way the team has played has been very exciting. The whole demeanor of the team seems, very different than last year, and it's translating on the ice, and it's translating into wins. How about drink every time a Devil's interviewed and says, obviously, Brat should get you drunk? Yeah, I feel bad for the guys. I mean, I feel like a lot of the questions are very much recycled, just like the same old, same stuff. And they get sick of it. And the most agitated by the media is obviously Jack. He looks like he doesn't give a he just wants to be out of there. Just got back from the game. Jack still looks rough. I think at this rate, Nemitz will hit the AHL. Well, Brendan, I think Jack looked much better today. He was flying around. He did get the assist. He generated a ton of other chances. He's still not, at his A1 game, but I think he looked way, way better today. And Nemitz, I thought, looked a lot better as well. But again, just because of, process of elimination, I do think Nemitz could be one of those guys on the bubble when we're fully healthy. And so, again, Keefe, lots of decisions. If we win the Cup, fan meetup in Ace's backyard. That definitely won't happen, but there will be a fan meetup somewhere in New Jersey for sure. For sure. Nico's almost 26. Damn, time flies. The art of pimping. And this is a reason why I have been, for the last couple years, have saying I'm in complete win now mode. There is no more windows opening in the future. Guys' careers go by like this. And in the blink of an eye, before we all know it, Nico will be 30. And then on the downside of his career or approaching it. And that's why it is so important when you have a nucleus like the guys we have now, that you put all your chips, or most of them, in the middle, and you just go into real win now mode and try to win a cup. And sometimes that involves making decisions and trades that are difficult to make. But in the end, if you really want that win, you got to sometimes make ballsy moves. And I've talked about that, at length before. I do believe that this team needs to maybe do something like that, this trade deadline. But I think Fitz did a great job this summer. And so far, we're seeing the fruits of the labor of the new additions and some of the other guys looking like they're embracing that new physical Devils identity. And you need that to win. Cotter's penalty was chintzy. Yeah, absolutely. Cotter's an absolute dog, too. My God. Not only does he have the hands and can he score, he just dumps people left and right. And that one was like, to me, yeah, very weak. He was kind of tangled up with the guy, and he just kind of shoved him. Like, dude, the guy went down super easy. Like, that's part of the game. I hate that type of penalty, and I thought that was super chintzy. And then I forget what period it was in. He also bodied somebody near the boards where he just kind of launched somebody, and he didn't get a penalty, and it was just beautiful to see. Absolutely beautiful to see Cotter smacking people around. Brady the Devils is inevitable. Adding him and Salayev in 2 years will destroy half the hockey fan population. Oh, boy. The Sheldon Keefe effect is real. Defensively, they look strong today. Yeah. Can someone teach our boys to execute breakaways? If they convert even half of them, the Devils will be scoring 6 and 7 goals every game. Yeah, it is an interesting thing that with these guys, we saw Jack get stopped in Washington. It originally looked like he missed the net, but Lindgren got a piece of it with his glove. And then today, Nico had one late in the game that he couldn't finish on either. Yeah, I'm very curious to see it's inevitable. At some point, this group will go to a shootout. I'm very curious what the shootout lineup will be. Throw that out there in the comments. I'm curious what you guys think the shootout lineup would be. I'd be very curious. I think I would definitely give Cotter a chance in the first three, for sure. Butcher's start was total fire. One of my buddies texted me that. Please don't compare Sheamus Casey to Butcher. Sheamus Casey, I believe, is a different level from multiple fronts. All the Montreal fans have told me how much of a steal getting Kovacevic is. Yeah, it's turned out to be a complete steal. This guy is an absolute beast, and we did steal him. If the Sens bum out early in the season or out of the playoffs by the deadline, then a package of Nemitz, Mercer, oh my God. That's an insane package. Nemitz, Mercer, first, second, Stillman. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, that seems like that would be substantially more than anyone else would pay, but wow. I mean, that's a lot. These lineup changes are tough because the new guys are playing so well, should be rewarded, but damn, if this isn't a problem I want to have, feels like 2012 again, we had under the radar scores. Yeah. Depth is your friend, and depth is a beautiful thing to have. Is a beautiful thing to have. All right, folks. Going to wrap it up here. Thank you all for coming out. But before I go, let me tell you guys about something that's happening in a little bit from now. Not too long from now. I will be in the chat a good amount of time before this. I don't know what time. Probably like maybe 6:15, 6:30 is the big premiere of my special project video that I was working on for a while. I bought New Jersey Devils Stanley Cup bling from Pawn Stars. And there it is. There it is. The premiere will be tonight at 7 p.m. I will be in the chat. Hope to see some of you there. Let me drop that link for you now. But the Devils did the damn thing today. Sheamus Casey's legend continues to grow. Jake Allen with his first shutout as a New Jersey Devil. So many beautiful things to see. Stefan Nason being an absolute junkyard dog down low. Gets some time on the power play as a result. And it's quite phenomenal. It's quite phenomenal to see. Hope to see you guys all there for the premiere later. I will be back soon. What a Devils win. Cheers to everybody. Thanks for coming out. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.